Potters, you need a wooden knife, a small loop tool, a large loop tool, a needle tool, and this is optional, but a blue firm rib plastic clay that is totally plastic and nowhere near the same condition of the pot that you're going to trim. What you do is measure the pot. You take the needle tool, it goes into the lowest part of your pot, and you take a measurement, which mine is right here, and then you take it to the outside of your pot, and it shows you how much you can trim into the floor. Okay. As far as how thick is the wall, how deep can I trim into the wall? It's hard to see. You put your finger in there if you can, but it's one of those times when you're going to have to see with your fingers, not your eyes. And so I'm feeling that it's right about here. So this indicates to me that I can't trim into the wall any deeper than that line, and this indicates to me that I can't trim down through the floor further than that line. I'm going to center the piece on the wheel using the concentric rings as best as I can, and this pot was not thrown perfectly, close to, but none of them are perfect. And so the way I can hold my needle tool to see wherever I'm striking the pot, and that was from here to here, that's where it was closest to me. So I find the center of that, that was closest to me, so I'm gonna move it in the opposite direction. Trying to get it on center, okay? Let's try it again. And we trim from here to here. So that's why I have my needle tool right here. That's pretty close, so I'm gonna go with it, okay? As for the wads, put as many down as you want. You just need a small wad tapered, and I like to put mine 3 or 4 around. Taper the wad, put it across, taper the wad, 3 or 4, you can do more if you like, taper the wad. Okay, give it a little test wiggle. The problem with cylinders is they're tall, so if they're easy to knock over. If that happens, instead of chasing it around as the wheel carries it, just stop your wheel. Use a small loop tool, this round part, to trim out a little divot. The divot is for your finger to rest in while you're trimming. Remember, don't go any deeper than that line. And what I mean is this. So my finger is resting here and holding the piece down while I'm trimming. Does that make sense? Now we decided that as far as the floor goes, I can trim that deep, right? So I'm watching how deep I make this. I'm going to begin my foot ring out here. And since I can dig this far in, there's still clay on the wall, I'm going to start here. And I'm going to go in, okay? So, holding my finger here. Do you guys notice where I'm holding the tool? Am I holding it way back here? Right there at where it's doing the cutting. Do you guys see ribbons coming off? That's what you want, right? Ribbons, not dust. And how do I know how deep I can trim into this floor? Yep, that line that I had made right there. As long as I don't go deeper than that line or too close to it, I'm good. Am I moving my tool quickly or slowly? Slow. Because I have to give the rotation a chance to go all the way around and get the cut, right? You can take this tool, the end of the wooden knife, and just gently press down from the outside in toward the center, and you will feel it be weak. And if it's not weak, you've got more meat there to trim, and you can if you want to, but the goal is for you to trim deep enough to where there's 1/8 of an inch between this needle tool and the floor. If you don't have 1/8 of an inch, and you can go deeper, go deeper. You will be able to glaze the floor if you have 1/8 of an inch clearance. If you don't have 1/8 of an inch clearance, you can't glaze the floor. I'm going to trim this area off, and I'm going to use the loop tool, and I know that I can't go further than that, otherwise I'll go through the wall, okay? So I'm starting with the small part of the tool, and the best way to learn how to use this large loop tool is to use this large loop tool. How do I use the tool? Use the tool. It will teach you how to use it. So you can see for these small ribbons that I'm trying to make, I'm using the small beak area of the tool. Sometimes the clay is so soft that it gets gummy in your tool and you have to clean it out, otherwise it bumps into and interferes with what you're doing. okay? So now I've got the longer beveled arm of this tool where I'm asking the wall to become a little straighter, less curvy. So that's why I say, if you don't know how to use the tool, use the tool. So I do want my foot ring to be a little more defined. And by defined, I mean, like I want it to look like an actual ring.